advancing the cooperative enterprise fund up to 35 million shillings, which if the law is amended and they could then transact with the financial institution, could avail to our cooperatives up to 630 million. The idea is that for the cooperative enterprise fund, we want to do aggregation, Your Excellency. You know that when the farmers farm their produce, say like maize, they subsidize because the cost of planting and the price at which they sell. But with this enterprise fund, we are looking forward to starting aggregation centers across the county so that our farmers can not only get value for money, but also get bonus. For the trade fund, it's for small and micro enterprises, is to help equip our artisans with equipment, the saloonists with equipment, the people who do plumbing with equipment to industrialize the small sector. The whole purpose is to, as you normally say, Your Excellency, is to onboard the small and micro enterprise people into the economy. So we are looking at this as a game changer. We'll be having a meeting on Wednesday with the border and the artisans and NITA, industrial training, and NTSA. We want to have the certification process, recognition of prior learning for all the artisans, for all the borders. For the border, we have discussed with the NTSA. The cost of a license is normally 12,000, but because of our negotiation, I think it's going to cost them about 4,000 shillings. So we want to bring on board all the 30,000 borders so that they have proper training on road safety. Allow me to introduce the proposed cooperative board members. Kindly stand where you are. I think you will just say your names.
Your Excellency, good morning. My name is Odaba Oscar, the Director of the Cooperative Fund and the Fund Administrator.
Your Excellency, Governor, all protocols observed.
Your Excellency, the protocol observed. My name is Ruben Krapa. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, and all Your Excellency, all protocols observed and developing a trade.
Okay, Your Excellency, all protocols observed. I'm Lawrence Kesa Karakata, Trade.
Your Excellency, my name is Miriam Wakaya Oka.
Your Excellency, all protocols observed. I'm Sylvester Jambo Kelo, Trade.
Your Excellency, my name is Gregory Akide, Trade.
Just to introduce the staff of the department. Those who have not introduced themselves, kindly rise for recognition. We have I don't know the protocol. I don't know at what point the trade committee is introduced, or it is above my pay grade, I think. You will, okay. Then allow me to introduce my colleague in education.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor, County Secretary, Honorable Members of the County Assembly. My name is Faustino Noyo Chunga, the Chief Officer in the Department of Education and Industrial Scheme. That is clearly outlined in the Education Support Scheme Act of to introduce themselves, the NAT, COOPED, the county community-based organizations, professional groups, NGOs, business community, and the religious groups within the county. So basically, Your Excellency, that committee is supposed to be the administrator of our education support scheme, which has various products, among them the bursary, our apart from the bursary, we also have other products, the elbow, that we are within our communities. So without going to too much details, let me take this opportunity with a lot of humility to request all the members that are proposed to stand up and introduce themselves.
Your Excellency and all the members, I'm Etienne Romano, representing Lunch.
Your Excellency, I'm Gloria Kesa, representing Coop.
Your Excellency, I'm called Joseph Okaj, representing Civil Society Organization.
Your Excellency, I'm Mwajuma Bahati Toloi.
Your Excellency, the Governor.
Your Excellency, I also want to tender the apologies from Your Excellency, I also want to tender the apologies from my
Thank you, Chief, to Your Excellency, members of the County Assembly, all protocol of the Cooperative Enterprise Fund, all protocol of the Cooperative Enterprise Fund, the Trade Revolving Fund, in a manner to ensure that we pick to ensure that the success stories that we are having around cooperatives world go hand in hand with revitalization agenda. If that works out well for us, it will be achieved and the impact of the world economic agenda shall be realized. The exercise was competitively set out, members applied, the shortlisting was done. The Assembly, I must appreciate you for doing a wonderful job in approving the names. On 20th of this month, Your Excellency, the names were officially gazetted, and that is what has enabled us to be here. The task ahead of them is to administer the funds, and to administer in such a fair manner that we are going to reap the impact of the funds that we are going to give out. Today, as they get out, the department is rolling out an induction program for the newly inaugurated board members, and that shall take place from Thursday and Friday. The very induct them already in their accounts. The cooperatives, Your Excellency, we've done so well. So far, we have done and registered 20. I'm told by the end of next week, we should be receiving them. Under the NAV CDP 35 circles, which through my chief and the chief, immediately the funds are going to be dispensed to the various to enable us run through the world-based economic revitalization program. Bring on board the chair trade committee in the Assembly, will introduce his members. And
Thank you, Waziri. Your Excellency, Waziris who are around, honorable members, committee members, na wageni wote na wasalimu hamjambo. I'm Bonventure Makoha, Chairperson, Committee on Trade, Cooperatives and Industrialization. First of all, before I introduce my colleagues, I just want to say congratulations to all members of boards. That is the Trade Revolving Fund. Congratulations, you went through a very thorough. We are coming in with the new things. Maneno iliyopita tusahau. This is a new government of the Busia County Trade Revolving Fund Act, and also the Cooperative Enterprise Development Fund of 20 which stipulates your role as board members. The challenge that we've had from the reports that have come to the Assembly is the issue of recovery of funds or loans that have been issued to members of the public. Has lost millions of money due to non-recovery of those funds. And I would urge the board, I know disbursing might be easy, but recovering those loans is the major issue. We shall be requiring you people to give us monthly reports as far as the blueprint by His Excellency in his manifesto about what economic revitalization. And if you look at the two funds, there is a keyword development. We want our people to get those development. Let these funds has those loans done to the people. What you want to see is going for induction. If you can get the governor's manifesto so that they be inducted to achieve his manifesto. Lastly, Your Excellency, the corporate for scrutiny, we did our part, and that was last year. Inauguration has never come back to the Assembly for further process. So I'll just urge that let that process, we can have a full-fledged cooperative act in Busia. My committee members, kindly just stand up and your position in the committee as we proceed.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm Honorable Angie Osike, Vice Chair of Trade. Your Excellency, I'm Honorable Beatrice. Sit down. I want to urge all the board members, all the members who have come on board. If you know the history of the revolving fund, kindly as you disburse these funds, have Busia at heart. We've lost money, as the chair has said, and we don't. Kindly, let us have laws, let us follow the act. We are serving Busians. We're not going there to take money and put in our pockets. Let us do the best. Thank you.
My name is Akuya Simon, member.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Busia, my name is Hadai.
With those few remarks, I take this opportunity to wish the two boards best.
Members of the respective boards that have been inaugurated, the Secretariat, and just wish with a lot of humility to ask you just to stand up because I want to look at. As you can see, that is a very recognized the members of the Education Committee. Kindly stand. Your Excellency, we are number, but you are aware that one of our colleagues is bereaved and some have decided to go ahead of us, but it's not that they have come. Yes?
Your Excellency, my name is Devl, I'm a member of the committee.
By Victoria Dua, member of the committee.
Your Excellency and all protocol observed, my name is John Bosco Goti, researcher designated to this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, myself to the committee and whether it was a board that did not pass through the assembly, but I rightfully say this is a committee and it is. So let us begin from there. And that is why we did not pass it through there, as we went through your responsibilities. so that we are not just there, but you must know that you play, each one of you has to. Your Excellency, I want to tell you that education is the equalizer. Education is one of the aspects previously, and in most cases, our parents in Busia County. The bursary disbursement has really gone a long way and in a very open way to address, to reach the people of Busia. But we are asking you that in future, we try to separate from the mainstream so that it is there, managed by the department and not managed so much by the MCS give. Sometimes varies in such a manner that you cannot a specific fund to reach every child. So that the learners are many, the applicants are many, but you see, it is not enough to make this fund officer. This is something you would have emphasized on what is this has been disbursing and yet it is not being realized. Years. I think you didn't mention that. And everybody out there is asking for it. I think go down to the department and just make this money be disbursed the way it used to be. Thank you. Your Excellency, should be disbursed once. At one point, even some MCS brought a motion in the assembly delayed to be given funds. So we are asking you kindly that this, so that everybody is getting this service at a go. MC, and thank you, members, for listening to me. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. Your
Members of the County Assembly, and currently the Office of is still working on it, but he assured us that the communication shall be soonest to the department so that it is forwarded back to the Assembly. CS Karibu.
Excellency the Governor, honorable members of the County Assembly here present from the two committees, chief officers, my colleague directors and the other staff, and the members of the two boards and the committee on operating. Hamjambo. My name is CS Oscar Juma, the County Secretary. Allow me to join previous speakers in congratulating the members of the two committees in the trade, boards in the trade sector, as well as the committee in the education sector. Now, I know for a fact that the process for this, I have no reservations in saying that the men and women who have been identified and gazetted in those two boards will fit the bill, and that you will take your time to understand your mandates, to read that which you have been asked to do, and to be able to deliver. As the office coordinating government operations, you do of course through your parent department, Governor's Manifesto, trade conjoined with agriculture, as well as education. Just allow me to mention to the departments concerned that as you do this charge their mandates. I'm saying that against a backdrop of where we have gone through kind of motions in getting on board members or committee members in some other sectors, and then they are unable to take off properly because of absence of proper on that induction. Waziri has alluded to that issue, the Chair Trade of the Act. Sorry for the delay. Finalize the process, and thank you for flagging.
This opportunity and the moment to thank all of you who have been gazetted or inducted to serve this county. If I start with that is Department of Trade and Industry, I think as we have been told, but I'm also aware that there's a lot of amendments that we are trying to do to those acts, including the also at the national level. We are also looking at the act, and between the Council of Governors and the Department of Cooperatives and the National Assembly, I know we have had a lot of engagements, and currently I think the final before the floor of the House at the National Assembly after a lot of consultations. It is in the same spirit, I believe, that this other act here was also being looked into, and we thought we should try to align it to level, and maybe, I'm not sure, maybe the county attorney will tell us why it has taken a while, but I remember during our engagements we had said that we needed it aligned with the amendments that were also happening to the Cooperative Act at the national level. Having said that, if that product is going to come out, we want to release the board. We come up with boards, I think, as the county secretary has said here, and sometimes traction as to why Assembly in its wisdom thought that despite having a we needed a board to fully concentrate on some of these functions. Sorry. This is where, when we look, what has unlocked capital in the world and even in other parts of this country is the cooperative movement. It has unlocked a lot of capital suffering from the same levels of poverty that we have. Today, sometimes when you are of a child here in Busia, Western here, Siaya, the chances of a child not reaching compared maybe to Mount Kenya there. Reason, we are in the same country, but different outcomes. We have land, we have, but the way we are organized, our output is so low. Because even like this one here, ISO is given out there. But just because of poor management systems, you know, you do something, you know that it is obviously you are going to fail. You disburse funds when you ask people for political tokens. And indeed they were political tokens, because if you look at the whole design, there was no intention to produce anything. So the fellow, you didn't help him. No blacklisted here and there. Then you start hearing, oh, you know, our people are in CRB. But if you take money and it is you people who have designed it to fail from the word go. Because the law is there. And that's why I'm also looking at them. To me, we had said, then why are you disbursing? Why are you giving? If you have got no capacity, you are going to do what? What is it you are going to do? If you are not going to produce anything, how are you going to pay? In fact, we have compounded your problems. Because you have now become a fugitive to financial institutions. The cost of doing some of those activities, even now, you know, I don't know in accounting is what the materiality. Because if you look at to collect what you want to collect, and then the attitude it has formed in the society, that unajua, no, they will come to attack your things, yet you have not used it for what it was supposed to be. We made deliberate efforts, and I think because someone said you pick manifesto, don't pick manifesto now, because it's translated into what we are calling the County Integrated Development Plan. So it's an official document. That's why we are given opportunities after elections to revise that, so that comes in the views. And once they are now domesticated, they are put, it is now an official order. I don't know how many of you know the law of compounding effect, where a shilling, well, because of that compounding effect, the 1 shilling that you have contributed. But most of them, even those ones, are not functional. You go around, you find milk cooling plants, chicken feed, I don't know, fish, I don't know, aggregation, what. They are scattered all over. Some of those machines have never even been opened. The way they were brought, they are still packed. So you wonder, who was doing assessment? Who was looking into the whole thing? Because these people are also supposed to be helped. What we say backward integration. You don't just come here and dish out money and then you go to relax and you expect that that money is going to multiply. Unless you are in this other business of, they call it what? These people who gamble, here casino. You know, you expect pata potaya, but nasibu. And there are people in this community who are like that. Every day they are in these things they call betting. I don't know where betting has ever created wealth. They are ready to do those kind of funny things that the betting, which team will win, then you win money from the other one. You're just sharing poverty. I don't know whether you see it. Because we have got a completely different mindset on what wealth creation is all about. And that's why we talked about this world-based thing. Because we are saying, let us pull people together. And my friends, I believe you are well informed. You sometimes don't need everybody at the same time. Those of you who have done a bit of mathematics, you know about this bell shape. But you need people who can be an example to those who may be willing, but they don't have the courage. If we resource to those people can be able to pull the other. Unajua wengine wanangoja kuona mtu kama amefanya kitu. So I'm urging you, please, as you there's a lot of capital out there, but you can know that they are now channeling their money through some financial institutions. Because they realize when they give government this money, we disburse, then they say, we can't collect. And sometimes I have come to tell them now that we know that problem is there. Why do we want to do a job that we are not good at? And that's why I'm saying you must be innovative. Instead of you being involved in collecting, in doing what, why don't we partner with a financial institution that can do part of that particular part on our behalf? And the committee will just be doing its core thing, looking at what needs to be done, who needs to be done, what. Tukimalizana na wewe, enda Equity. Chukulia pesa huko. Equity ikuvete vizuri sasa ijue. Na pia itajua how to recover if you don't want. That's what I'm saying. The committee must be innovative. Don't go in there and think that we are just going to get government money put for you in an account. Unaanza kusema pea huyu, then after that, what is the impact? But if you are going to be innovative and say, we are going to partner with a financial institution to carry out certain activities that we may not be in a position to carry out as a board or as a committee. To me, that is being innovative. Usually these MCAs will tell you, we have been grappling with something called World Fund. And there was a time I didn't want to do it because it's not there anywhere. Because execution is part of the executive. But we said we are partners. We are, voted by the people. When you go around, you tell people, I'll do this, I'll do that. In the conference, suddenly how come you can see the CDF being talked about, na sisi tukitembea in the same sub-county. Again, I've given you 700 million shillings, which is almost 40%. I've only remained with 60%. That is the way we were doing it. But today, how much it is what you have allocated enough. If it's not enough, within the department, please, you'll need doctors, you'll need what? But it's again on agenda, these things are not connected. You finish building, then we'll answer to realize there are no staff to be posted. There's not enough resources to run. So we were doing things different. Resources are the same, but the way we do it is what changes of trade and cooperative. You'll come to realize that you are coming at a very critical moment. We want to produce. Some of you never went to school through bursaries of government or goodwill of other people. Your parents paid for you your school fees. Yet you cannot pay for your own children. Why? Because of wrong ways of doing things, we have become poorer than even our grandparents. Because they did cotton, they did, wanaita mimea, and they were able to sell and take their children, our fathers, to school. Yet sisi, nobody wants to do anything. You want us to feed you, you want us to educate your children, you want us to give you medicine. Where is all these resources coming from if we are not organized? And the biggest way we can unlock this potential is through these boards if you do your jobs correct. People are able to trade, people are able to get money to produce. Now what they are producing, we had said we want to form value chains. Because another biggest problem has been market. So that when we have a market, when you produce, you know that your things will go here at this price. What in other parts of this country, people have been talking about minimum guaranteed return on coffee and tea, pyrethrum, all these things. Because they want to know when you produce, there's a market. Now if we are, how do we expect to solve our problems? And how can we do it? We cannot go to an individual and give them money. That's why organization through cooperatives becomes critical. These cooperatives must be linked to farmers who produce. These markets must be linked. I think now the law has allowed us through these additional functions that they have transferred to the counties so that we take them over. Now, as people are not going to avail capital for people to farm, value addition, for people to invest, where we get. And that is through cooperatives and trade. Please don't come here and behave the way people have behaved previously. Please, you will be doing us a big disservice. Please be innovative, look for partners, look for ways how to raise capital, look at how we can, strengthen these cooperatives. And these are our traders. Hata unajua shida ilikuwa nini? Si ulikuwa unafanya tu vizuri unauza sukuma. Unajua nilipata mgonjwa nikatumia pesa ya biashara. I'm back to zero. Nilipata matanga, unajua nikauza hiyo ng'ombe yangu. Sasa sina. You get the kind of things that people are relapsing back into poverty. But if you have got a place you can go, because you are endowed to say, there is a fund here, like I've seen again with our neighbors in the other side in the mountain, there is what they call the cherry fund. We can come to your farm and cooperative and be advanced something. And sort out total uniform, ulipe school fees, when your crop is ready, because of those lack of those organized systems, when people come even for your maize, Because you are desperate. You want cash that you don't have. So please, help us to get our people from this business of working for the stomach only to also be able to work for their pockets. What we're going to press upon food. And that can only happen if you people think on wealth creation. You are not here to give free money from government. You are here to make our people entrepreneurs through cooperatives and trade. And you are here to look for partners to unlock that potential. If you get a partner who tells you the government puts in a shilling, they put in 9 shillings, would have capitalized that even 100 million shillings to 1 billion. That's how these other people have worked. That's how Nyakinywa groups could buy land in the Rift Valley from Murang'a or from Kiambu. They just used to be Nyakinywa village. If you go there, it was just villagers coming together. That's how the Rwathia groups took over, River Road, because they pulled resources through cooperatives. Today in the Somali communities, some people are mourning, but they have got this scheme of pulling resources together. They have built a completely new city in Nairobi called Isili. Go there and see. New. Because of pulling resources. And utilizing those resources to multiply wealth, and of course, paying back. If you take money and you have no intention to pay back, it's poverty. So we want you people as you come. We have problems, which we agree, that we are also saying as government, we must get a way to deal with it. Even sugar companies, we have written off some loans. We have done some things, just to clean sometimes the balance sheet. But we must have a good plan. That as we clean this balance sheet, we are going to create wealth. Others will come in, the first thing mutaanza kuambiwa, enda to collect madeni. I think it's around 100 million. Or how much is it? Ile pesa iko hivi. Yeah, it's about 100 million. So if you don't watch out, you'll come and utapata that most of your time here. Yes, we want you to collect because we have also been asked to give a clear plan. I think it was you who is the manager of that thing. So it was to show us how we are going to collect. And as we collect, we also don't want this group to be bogged down with what we need to do. Because as you deal with historical issues, also look forward. So amewaeleza, there's some partners already, but to me that is not the main. The partners we are going to bring on board is what is going to be important. And that will mean you must come up with a product that attracts partners. And we are willing to work with. Because as I have told you, we are doing the EPZ here, we are doing the industrial park, we are doing so many other things. And if we don't capitalize our people, then just be spectators. Hakuna kitu watapeleka huko. Hata sahi cotton, I have seen the cotton thing there in Mulwada. Cotton people are running all over Mara, Uganda, Wapi. Because we need the people to produce so that hii pesa pia iende mashinani. Now if you are producing nothing, how will you get money? Sasa, because it's so dear to us. It's so dear. So I hope you fast track the act, we look at it. If there are any issues, but as I said, we align it to the other one at the national level, so we'll be ready to go. If there are those issues within the regulations that also need to be looked into, that may have cost us bottom, some of these things will also be done so that they are brought to speed. On education support scheme, again to me, almost similar things that we are talking about. We are currently faced by a very serious challenge because the constitutionality of it has been questioned. And I expected the chair to have said something. Because you had the control of budget saying that, counties are doing what is not their core mandate. And recently they said again, for counties that had already passed the legislations, they can still continue to do that. Then again, last, to look at the implications, because there are also people now again who have gone to court, to say people of our communities denied the education because of poverty. That's the way I looked at it. And when I read the Constitution, it gives us that mandate, as a government, to do things that address the needs of the people. And that was the whole essence about devolution. So governments were centralized, you could look into some of the issues that have even spread around the cooperative movement. Some places took these things for granted because they evolved there, and for historical reasons. Those of you who are good students, and I've seen some teachers here as members of that, you remember the Devl white paper? Who remembers that paper in history? You do. Kuna kitu tulikuwa tunasoma kama hiyo, either in Form 2 or somewhere like that. Devl white paper of 1923 that said, you know, only certain parts of Kenya can grow coffee, tea, you know, have cooperatives, but others were not allowed. So I don't know whether you know that. Sometimes the root cause of our poverty also has got some historical moments. Because when they did that, those places were able to access capital, to access investments. Even title deeds. Some places here is when people are still getting title deeds. But those again who have been around better, you know that the title deed was the closest access to capital that you could ever have. Because when you had a title deed, you could take it to the bank and borrow. As we had nothing. You have no cooperative, you have no title deed, you have... So, I mean, you are just there. Maina can tell you this. Because how do you get capital? Ukienda kwa bank, hata kupata kitambulisho hapa ni shida. Because sisi bado tunafanyiwa vetting. I've seen some of my colleagues thinking differently, but me, I don't agree with them. Me, I think that directive that pia watupunguzia hiyo maneno ya vetting, in my view, I thought it's a correct thing. Because let security people deal with security issues. But don't punish somebody who deserves to get an ID because of security. What has that person got to do with security? Let security people who are dealing with it, security. But don't deny certain Kenyans an ID at when mama, mtoto yako iko na ID. So that one I have a different view from. Because some people think that it's being done for no distance. No. Who are on the border, because you know the processes you go through. So even if because you know the processes you go through. So even if you don't have ID, how do you even go to the bank? How are you even go? Sisi tutaendelea. Tunaelewana hiyo. And we will deal with the processes as they come. Yeah, and if need be, we are going to bring another, call it a social fund. You get what I say? Because we know our society better. If you do that, most of our children will stay at home. You got Nashkan? Until we reach a level whereby it's a bit easier. Like now, if you people unlock this potential, and our people are able to get funds and invest and create wealth, then people watajifanyia kazi yao. I don't think there's any dignity in people not being able to take care of their responsibilities. It's not a normal human way. A lot of people who want to take care of their lives. So it is just sometimes, you know, the unfortunate situation that puts people in that kind of situation. So we cannot say at hatutalipa school fees. So mimi nitasema hiyo committee, mtaendelea, sheria iko. If we need to do any amendments, we will be ready to do it so that we proceed supporting vulnerable members of our community and pushing them. I agree with the chair what you say, that this committee, if you read the law, there's nowhere where again even MCS should be. But you remember they have a representative through either the ward manager or somebody at that level. The whole idea, you know, when you are playing an oversight role, huwezi tena kuwa wewe ndio uko pale. So when things go wrong, how will you address? That's why now through their ward manager, they are members. I think they are members at that committee level. Sio tu ndio shida. Again, the way I had said earlier, the way we have been, you know, giving out some of these resources, maybe made some people feel that, you know, they could just do anything they want. But as we have said, there are rules that must be obeyed. So if the committees, and this law was passed by the assembly, the members themselves. So if they want it not done like that, they have powers to go back to the assembly and change. So if it's ingine ni siasa, to me, I think that law is very explicit to say how the committees are formed, what they are supposed to do. And you are here. Am I correct? For now. So when you are interfering in kienyeji, that we can deal with. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm sure for the chair to have said that, we have got places where even an MCA decides that there will be no bursary here. Your powers unatoa wapi. That's why we have already passed and said, even as we allocate these funds, we want to categorize and put certain conditions that certain amounts of money must go towards certain sectors. Just like in CDF, it's also guided by saying certain amounts must go towards certain sectors. So that should cure. But ukiangalia sheria is clear, imepitishwa na hawa, so there should not be a conflict. Do that, Mashikana. So that political must be processed through the law. Hapana kuja tu pale, then you forget there's a committee. That's why unaenda kwa ward unaanza kusema hakuna.
We did some amendment, they brought in issues. They were requesting that they be given at least some time, but this financial year.
No, but time for what? You know, because I thought when you process something, you pick their views, then you bring, then we look at it. And these views can they be accommodated? You know, you can't kill a government process. You collect all the views. So you will be able to process that through the county secretary's office. So that we're also looking at it, so that if there are issues, we can engage. Because maybe they called me, yeah, now that you are here, maybe you can say something. Without opening debate, because that was not the purpose. But it will allow the committee to also know what they are going into.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I do not know whether I can make my comment without necessarily opening the debate, because this was addressed by the committee of the whole house, and the direct ICT also raised a lot of issues, which we advised right from the department that those issues cannot be corrected now and implement the automation within this short time. Therefore, we agreed that in the subsequent financial year, we shall do the automation when the department is ready. Thank you.
But those were your views.
It was the views of the whole house.
And you understand that those are views, because it can't be views of the whole house when the document comes to the house. That was a Kampuji, I believe. Because they were collecting views, they'll bring the views, because even as we have not looked at it at the cabinet level. But if we are also still satisfied at cabinet level, we'll still bring that document to the assembly, so that it is processed properly. Otherwise, you know, we'll start not doing things the correct way. Because views, public participation cannot stop a process. You collect views, then you take into account what you are saying. So they can come in and say, you know, we have done this, but we are staggering the implementation, and it must be processed. It cannot be aborted. Madam, it cannot be aborted. It must be processed. Yeah, it must be processed. It must go through the whole process. The views must be taken into account. It will come. If we are satisfied also, we still have it processed and brought to the house now properly. For you people to amend, you know, do whatever. That would be the right way. The views collected. In the way of enhancing and improving efficiency in county government is to automate our services. It's one of the commitments we have given, even under the KDSP programs. That's how we are being done. How we have, you know, automated some of the services that we have. So if there are challenges, we can look at it, but instead of aborting. So I think the committee, you can see what you face, the education committee. You have quite some stuff on your table, both what is happening at the national level and what is also happening within the county as far as that education support scheme is concerned. Yeah, the easier we pick it up, the better, so that we are not in conflict. I think the concerns can still be addressed. Because as you say, the time may be the little, but that should not stop the process. We can say, let's go. When it comes to the assembly, we say, okay, let's stagger the implementation. But we will have processed the thing. and we would have at least proven that we are in the process of automating. But for us to be assessed and come and see that we committed to do that and we have not done and the funds were availed for that, si unaona pia itakuwa inatuweka vizuri. Okay, no, you are laughing.
No, Governor, I'm in the same committee.
Yes.
What they did public consultation in our committee.
Yes.
For the first. But now what we said, we gave them the views. So they should proceed with their views.
Yes.
Collect other views from other different
Yes.
areas. Then we are going to compile a record.
Yeah. They process the document.
Yes.
Then it comes.
Yes.
Then you'll be saying we can't see our views here. Then we can deal from there.
In our house,
Yeah.
we gave them our views.
Yeah. I think that's the right way. That's the right way. Instead of stalling a government document. So I think on the committee, those will be some of the challenges. But we need to still continue to support our people. And as somebody said, transparency. Because the whole idea people take, you think that we're in the business of giving people the money. But we are not. We are doing this thing to solve a problem. And we can get an innovative way to solve a problem where the views of the honorable members to get political bonga points. I think that's where the problem is. Hakuna shida hapo, mkiprocess utapata ni bonga points. Si wewe umekuwa MCA? Are you in that committee? Sasa wewe unaelewa. If you're in that committee, you can help your members. Sasa ingine hapa ni bonga point tu. Anataka kuona bonga points zangu zinaingilia wapi. Kama bonga point haziingii politician. They have gotten this. Sasa akitembea anasema si mnaona niliwapea pasa. Hiyo tu ndio. And you can still, process this thing without antagonizing them a lot. Because hii sheria ndio walipitisha. If they wanted those other things wangeweka tu hapo. But hii sheria imepitishwa kwa assembly, hii hata haijatoka pale ingine. So let's not create a situation like we are antagonizing each other. Lakini mimi naona hata hakuna shida. It's just to make sure that their concerns are addressed. And we proceed. So that we don't stall the automation thing. Now that we are doing that and the board is also coming in place, I hope part of the induction will be also the committee. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they are the people who are going to implement this. So they must also be brought on board. Yeah. Maybe watasaidia kuchambua where these other views. So I hope you'll do that soonest. Yes. Okay. So that wakue hapo. So they are the ones helping you to implement. I think having said that, that's all I can share. Kusema shukran to all of you for accepting to serve. You are people of Busia. And I still repeat, the committee, the board, will be as active as the members decided to be. Because mkiamua pia bodi iende usingizi, italala usingizi mpaka ile wakati tunasema kama imeenda. Because you'll only be meeting, sa ile iko sijui mambo ya kugawa. But so many things that these boards need to do. Even the cooperatives. If you don't integrate backwards looking for employment, without knowing that sometimes boards don't work. But boards can be as active as you want them to be. And when boards are active, you'll find that even for you, it becomes a bit easier. It becomes easier. Kuna boards zingine unapea hata they don't even attract funds. There are some who even are so busy. Because they are able to attract funding, they are able to make sure things are done. Lakini pia mkienda usingizi, it will be, oh, governor tunataka kukuona. Sijui what I understand. Yeah.
Antu, Excellency, we shall have that symbolic giving out of the appointment letters. Then after that, the cooperative fund board members to the benefit. Sarah. Chap chap do. Odaba Oscar. Oscar Odaba. Tayari tafadhali. No problem, no problem. Next. Pardon? Gregory Akide. Tafadhali kwa sababu. Next. Austin Ndege. Thank you. Education. For photograph of the government. Tafadhali, the cooperative and trade team proceed ya bodi zote na mheshimiwa gavana, kisha baadaye tutamruhusu mheshimiwa aondoke. All the teams.